What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, with almost 4 years of rumor mill behind us and a recent report from Variety that Marvel Studios was actually looking to bring back original Avengers like Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans, and even Robert Downey Jr. to reprise their roles for the end of the multiverse saga, it was looking more and more likely that this was a reality. But Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige made sure to use very specific language in his most recent quote, shooting that idea down, saying we would never magically undo the sacrifice that Tony Stark made for the MCU. We worked very hard to get there. We won't undo it. And his language certainly seemed definitive, but notice he only used that to refer to Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man Tony Stark, not any of the others. And today we have a massive update coming from trusted industry insider Charles Murphy over on his editorial of Murphy's Multiverse, talking about exactly that. Chris Evans' return, the rumored NOMAD project, and just where it stands right now. There had been some conflicting reports in the last couple of months, some of which we covered. We're going to break down his latest scoop in full, read through the article, and let you know where it stands and what the real likelihood that Chris Evans may return as Steve Rogers into the MCU is. We're breaking it all down, the latest NOMAD scoop. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. In fact, we have two right around the corner, one for What If at the end of this month, one for Echo next month. Again, all you got to do, be a sub, leave a comment if you want, stick around to the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so for a little bit of context, it was almost a full 3 years ago on January 14th, 2021, when Deadline ran the headline, Captain America Eyes Return to MCU as Chris Evans nears deal to reprise role in future Marvel projects, where they go on to talk about in an exclusive that, quote, a move that was sure to rock the Marvel Cinematic Universes. Sources told Deadline that Chris Evans is cleaning the dust off his Captain America attire as he's expected to reprise the role in the MCU in some form. Now, after that story would run, we would hear rumors about a NOMAD project, or the title that Steve Rogers once took in the comics when he was no longer Captain America, and a lot of us pointed to that time in between Infinity War and Civil War when they were quote-unquote the Secret Avengers as a perfect multiverse project somewhere else in the multiverse to pick up with that version of Steve Rogers, call him NOMAD, then bring him in for Secret Wars and reunite him with the bunch. But those rumors went extremely cold until a year later, in summer of 2022, and right before San Diego Comic-Con, when a ton of public filings by Marvel Studios in the UK for trademarks revealed a NOMAD title. Still, no rumors since then, and we are now a full year and a half past that. But we have a huge update, and that's where we pick up today with, again, Charles Murphy over on Murphy's Multiverse, under the headline, The Skinny on Marvel Studios' quote-unquote NOMAD, where he goes on to report, quote, it's been almost 3 years since we uncovered evidence that Marvel Studios was developing a NOMAD project. Following that discovery, COVID continued its impact on production for quite a while, and by the time Marvel Studios got back to STCC in June of 2022, there had been no public acknowledgement of a NOMAD project. Months ago, several of the trademarks that were filed for Marvel Studios' NOMAD turned up as quote-unquote dead, and recently those quote-unquote dead trademarks made the rounds on social media message boards. Yes, we did cover them at the channel. Between those dead trademarks and the lack of any sort of announcement by Marvel Studios, the general consensus seemed to be that the NOMAD project was dead. But as this article indicates, only mostly dead, and still a little bit alive. He then goes on to enumerate the fact that, quote, when Marvel Studios trademarks upcoming projects, they file multiple different trademarks. Some are for toys, some are for clothing, some are for cups and other types of merchandise. However, they also file one for entertainment services, which is essentially to indicate that they are either making a film or TV series. As with everything else they make, Marvel Studios filed one of those for NOMAD, while they've let the other trademarks die. This one remains alive and well. In fact, the studio has taken measures to extend the trademark on several occasions, including recently. And here it is in all its glory, the trademark. Now, I have my opinion for what this means, and I'm going to be extremely candid with you guys, but let me finish this article. He continues by saying, quote, what does this mean for development of the project? Ultimately, it well may mean nothing. Bob Iger's return to Disney in combination with a pair of major strikes have further slowed development of several Marvel Studios announced and unannounced projects. Given that NOMAD has never officially been acknowledged as a future MCU project, it could easily go by the wayside as a part of the studio's renewed commitment to quality over quantity. There are no firm details on what the project might even be about, which means there's no way of knowing if it was integral to the multiverse saga to begin with. At the end of the day, the existence of the trademark proves no assurance that any NOMAD project will ever hit the screen, big or small. However, it does have a pulse, so don't bury it just yet. Okay, so here's my honest take on this. I think there were some truths to the rumors that Marvel Studios was looking to bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, obviously. I think Robert Downey Jr. says an emphatic no, and as of real lately, it would make a lot of sense why he would say that. And so Kevin Feige comes out and saves face and says, hey, we were never going to do that in the first place. We would never do that. Yeah, easy to say if Robert Downey Jr. had said no. I think if you look at Chris Evans and all of his public quotes, he's been a lot more vocal about that possible return in the last 4 or 5 years. The situation would have to be perfect, and given everything that's transpired, popularity of Marvel and a lot of the outside cracks that are coming in now from what I would call non-fans in the first place, still, that noise is out there and it's a less than perfect return. So you can sort of envision the conversations between Chris Evans and Marvel going something like this: hey, do you want to come back? And Chris Evans says is simply, I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes until you present me with something that I can agree to. That's why something like a NOMAD project goes unannounced and sort of sitting dormant for so long, because they're trying to figure out how to do the project. And as far as not knowing what that quote-unquote NOMAD project would be, guys, there's only been a couple of characters in the comics that have ever worn the NOMAD mantle. I think one of them is Bucky's niece. Regardless, it's only Steve Rogers, and by a mile, that this project would make sense to sort of revolve around. And we've even gone as far to say this is probably the same secret project that Scarlett Johansson has agreed to produce on. Regardless, I think there is still a chance we could see Chris Evans back as Steve Rogers, but would you blame him for not wanting to return? And as I said in a more recent video, there are already so many characters that they have to do justice in Avengers Secret Wars. I doubt they're going to be able to. So, in a world where you're already bringing back all these other characters from Fox X-Men, from the Fantastic Four, the new Avengers team, whatever main players from the 616 that have played through Phase 4, 5, and 6 that you want to focus on, maybe it's not the end of the world that we don't get Steve Rogers back. And from Chris Evans' point of view, I think he's probably waiting for something that he can actually embrace and say, yes, this is the perfect return I was talking about. Anything less than that, well, it's a lot easier for Marvel Studios not to have to cancel a project if they never announced one. They don't have to save any sort of face at all if they don't ever announce NOMAD if they can't get it done. And that's why I think he's saying, hey, listen, they've let some of these trademarks expire. They've left the door open on doing a TV show or a movie, but it's also not at the forefront of what we're trying to do. And again, from the outside looking in, as only the guy who's been reporting on this every day or sometimes 3 times a day for the last 4 or 5 years, this to me looks a lot more like Chris Evans holding out for the perfect situation and Marvel Studios wanting to leave the door open than them having an idea for a project that they can move forward with without someone like Chris Evans agreeing to do it. You guys let me know all your thoughts though down below. How important is it, or how much do you want to see Chris Evans back as Steve Rogers? With everything I've said in this video, knowing everything, where we are now, the future of the projects, etc., how badly do you want to see that in the MCU? I'm not going to lie, guys. I would actually love it. I just don't want it to be a Disney Plus show. Please make that a movie. Do not stick Chris Evans on TV. It does not make sense. Make that a film. Let me know what you guys think down below quickly. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. In fact, we've got 2 right around the corner. One at the end of this month for What If's finale. The other is next month for Echo. If you want to be entered to win, all the same rules will always apply for future giveaways. It's super simple. Be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name AllFires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.